G'day and welcome back to the 2024-25 GameDay Squad Fantasy Cricket Show. I'm Stu, that's Dill, and together we are the Fantasy Bros. This summer we've partnered with GDS to bring you all you need to know to succeed in this season's Oz Cricket Tournament. This is our final pre-season episode, so once you've watched this, make sure you go back and watch or listen to the previous 7 episodes. That's not all that's happening before round 1. There'll be a couple more shows where we might reveal our top 10 across the 3 main positions. Dill, no prizes for guessing who today's team and focus is.
Yep, g'day mate, and that's right, it is last year's champions, the best team in the competition. It is the Brisbane Heat. Like the rest of the episodes, we will cover the Heat's in and outs, their likely 11 for round 1, plus their must-have players for GDS and breakout and MVP candidates. And I believe, as always, there's going to be a pretty exciting pack opening competition where the viewers can win some pretty special prizes.
That's right, mate. Wouldn't be a pre-season episode without a pack opening. So stay tuned for that. Also, for any new users who have just stumbled onto this video, if you want to sign up and play GDS Oz Cricket this season, you can do so. You can register and you can enter the promo code FBAC24 and that'll land you a pretty handy 3-player rare pack that you can open and get started building your squad. We've also got another opportunity to win that Matt Short Diamond card. Now, everyone wants to get their hands on this card because he averaged approximately 20 points more than the next highest scoring player in last year's tournament. You can get him for free simply by commenting your GDS Cricket squad name on this video, as well as the other 7 pre-season videos, as well as the next 3 that we post just before that live show before round 1 starts. You'll need to be there in that round 1 live show because that's when we'll be drawing that winning player, that winning coach, who's going to get their Matt Short Diamond card to put into their squad just before round 1 kicks off. Alrighty. Dill, who are the ins and outs for the current champions?
Yep. So just one in Tommy Allsop, but a couple of big outs, I believe. Sam Billings is the first one that headed over to the Thunder. Jordan Buckingham, who was one of our breakout players, headed over to the Strikers. Joshy Brown, we miss all that firepower up top. He's headed over to the Renegades. And then Charlie Wakeham, who has headed to the Hurricanes. So that might be a bit of a shake-up there for the Brisbane Heat. What does that likely 11 look like then for round 1, mate?
Josh who? I don't know who you're talking about. Yeah, look, there's a bit of a hole at the top of the order now with still got Munro there. But yeah, Brown's a bigger mission there. And looks like Max Bryant might have that opening spot for how long, who knows. But let's just hope he can find a bit of form and get the Heat off to a flyer. We don't want to be, 3 for 20 and struggling because we've got a weaker top order. I think Jimmy Pearson might be moved up the order. Renshaw should come in at 4, Allsop 5, Big Paul, Tall Paul at 6, Michael Nessa at 7, and that bowling lineup looks pretty handy, just like last season with Bartlett, Spencer Johnson, Schwepson, and Kuhneman. Can we expect anyone to return to the Heat squad at all during the season, mate?
Yeah, a bit like the Sixers, I guess, and the Scorchers getting back a couple of key players in the back end of the season. The Heat welcome back both Usman Khawaja and Marnus Labuschagne. So there's some massive ins heading into the last couple of weeks of regular play, then pushing for that final spot. So as you said, let's hope that Maxi Bryant can sort of get a few runs on the board and help us out for when those boys come back and then can do some damage with the bat. Yeah,
that top order is going to look so much nicer with Uzi and Marnus back there. Let's hope the others can get a few wins before they return. Yep. Alrighty, now for our must-haves. Still and I are going to name our must-have bat or wicket-keeper, bowler and all-rounder. We'll then name our breakout and MVP candidate for the Heat. These are the players that you simply must play in your lineup. Dill, who have you got as that bat must-have?
Yeah, look, it might come as a surprise for you, but I've gone another big hitting Kiwi in Colin Munro. I love him. In game 1 of 23-24 tournament, he smashed 99 runs not out against the Stars, and I'm really looking forward to Munro replicating that performance on more than one occasion this season, and I feel like we may need it as well. He finished the 23-24 season with an average of 37.33 runs and a strike rate of 140.88. So, he really likes to go hard early and get a few runs in that sort of power play first few overs in the innings. Earlier this year, Munro played in the Max 60 Caribbean tournament, which is 10 overs apiece, and he finished the season with 245 runs across 7 innings with an average of 49. So he's bringing some really good form into the Oz cricket season, and I really hope that the Heat could be going back-to-back, particularly with him leading from the front.
Yeah, I think he might have some pretty sore shoulders until Uzi and Marnus return. Mate, I was getting a bit worried you haven't mentioned a Kiwi for a couple of episodes, so I'm glad you're feeling all right and you're back talking about your boys. All right, the bowl must-have. A bit of a toss-up between the two spearhead quicks, but I've gone for Xavier Bartlett over Spencer Johnson, but just. Bartlett averaged 51.82 points last season after claiming 20 wickets across his 11 games. This impressive form saw him selected in the Australian ODI squad, where he claimed 4 wicket hauls in his first 2 matches against the West Indies. He's just finished playing that series against Pakistan, and he scored figures of 3 for 13, 1 for 18, and 1 for 25, indicating he's in some pretty good form heading into this year's tournament. I think he's a must-have for your bowling lineup. You might want to opt for the pod in Spencer Johnson, but they'll probably both score pretty similar in terms of what they can produce with the ball. But I think Xavier Bartlett has shown a little bit more consistency and form with the bat, so that's why he gets the edge for me.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I'll be looking at probably playing Bartlett more often than Johnson, but obviously Spencer Johnson's form in the last few weeks have been pretty good as well. So I think if you've got either of them, I think either are a good option. I like it. Alrighty, on to the all-rounder must-have for the Heat. And look, the Heat have 2 excellent all-rounders in both Nisa and Paul Walter, but I am going with Tall Paul. I think he had a sensational debut in Oz cricket last season, taking 17 wickets, 8 catches, and hitting 99 runs. He averaged 1 wicket every 2 overs bowled, and then he had 1 game in the season where he didn't take a wicket. So you've really got that consistency on your side if you're going to chuck Tall Paul into your lineup. That saw him lead the way for the Heat in GDS. He averaged 52.82 points per game, so he was the best of all Heat players there. He also has some recent form with the bat for Essex, hitting 124 runs in 5 matches. So I think we can lock in the massive Englishman for another massive season, and hopefully he gets a few wickets and probably adds a few runs to that total as well.
Yeah, not only is he a great man for your all-rounder position, but he's also someone that's great to watch as well. Something always seems to happen when Paul Walter is involved. Alrighty, the breakout player for the Brisbane Heat. Look, after losing the big hitting Josh Brown to the Renegades, Max Bryant is likely to find a more permanent spot at the top of the order, but he's been unable to find any sort of consistency with the bat over the last couple of seasons. For this reason, the Heat went and drafted Englishman Tom Alsop, who should bring a lot of stability and grunt to the middle order. He's averaged just shy of 30 across 77 innings in the Vitality Blast in England, striking at a respectable 130. I can see him making a bit of a name for himself in Heat colours as someone who can maybe resurrect an innings after an early collapse, or someone who can find the ropes late to consolidate a pretty good start. So I think he's going to be pretty handy, a bit of a rock in the batter position.
Yeah, and as we spoke about, let's just hope that he does find that form and he has a decent season for the Heat and keeps them going until those big boys come back near the end of the season. Alrighty, to round out our must-haves, our breakouts, and then our MVP, I've gone with the all-rounder in Michael Nisa. I think he was an absolute standout with the ball last season. And if he can find a few more runs with the bat this season, I reckon he's going to be easily the best Heat player. He finished the 2023-24 season with a GDS average of 51.27 points, and that came about through 88 runs, 12 wickets, 11 catches, and 2 runouts, which really showcases his true all-rounder status in the team. It seemed like wherever he was positioned in the field, a ball would come to him, and he would have some magic there in trying to catch that ball, whether it was the other side of the rope or throwing back to himself. It was pretty awesome to see. His form leading into the tournament as well looks pretty good. He's taken 4 for 27 for Australia A versus India A, and his last 4 Shield and one-day games, he scored 158 runs and took 12 wickets across those. So definitely some good form leading into this competition.
Yeah, awesome. And maybe a bit selfish of me here, but I don't really want him scoring too many runs for the Heat. Why? Because if he's coming into bat, it means that top order is probably struggling. But we need him to score runs for our GDS teams. Alrighty. My favourite part of the episode, your favourite part of the episode, Dill, and the viewers as well, I'm sure. We're opening up our final 2 packs of the 8-episode team preview series, where you, the viewers, can win your very own player cards to add into your GameDay Squad cricket team just before the commencement of round 1. We're going to open up our packs in a moment. We're looking for Brisbane Heat players. Any Brisbane Heat players that are pulled will go straight into that prized player pool selection of players that you can win and place into those squads. If we don't have any Heat players, then all 3 of those cards will go straight into that prize pool for you to claim. How do you claim them? All you got to do is simply comment on any of our preseason YouTube videos. Make sure you tell us who your breakout and MVP players for the Heat might be, and make sure you're there joining us for that live show just before round 1 kicks off, so that you can get your hands on some pretty tasty prizes. Dill, over to you, mate, with that rare pack. Who have we got?
Yeah, alrighty, let's jump in and have a look at what we've got here. So, pack has been pre-opened, but we have not revealed the cards yet. So let's jump into it. Starting off with a gold Jono Wells for the Renegades. Probably not a player that will find his way into my team, just based on where he's probably going to come out to bat. He doesn't really have a huge opportunity to score runs. Oh, the second one is a platinum here, and it is Jason Behrendorff. He should have a massive season with the ball over at the Scorchers again, so that would be a great card. If we don't get a Brisbane Heat here, he's up for grabs, but we get that man that had his debut in the Test team, Nathan McSweeney from the Brisbane Heat. That is his gold card, so we may see him at the back end of the tournament potentially, and it might be useful for anyone who comments and potentially could win that card.
Yeah, that's a great pull. Let's hope he can find some form for the Aussies first, and then bring that over to the Big Bash toward the end of the season. Alrighty, let's finish things off with a 3-player unique pack. I'm going to start from the right-hand side.
Here we go.
We've got Alex Carey, who, just like Nathan McSweeney, will probably come back toward the latter part of the competition for the Strikers. Jono Wells, I think. Did you have a Jono Wells in your pack?
Sure did. Yeah.
Jono Wells desperately wants some owners. Oh, look at this card. We're going to finish with a diamond. Come on, Heat players. We want a Heat player, and it is... Oh, not a Heat player, but this player will go into the prize pool. Jump back and watch that Perth Scorchers episode because I spoke in length about Jai Richardson, and I'm rating him very highly for this season, and I think maybe a bit of a pod. Some people might be turned off and a bit scared to play him based on last season's form, but I think he's going to have a ripper tournament.
Yeah, what a great pull there. So make sure that you jump on and comment so you go in the draw. That's an unreal card that you can win. Alrighty,
Dill, that's just about it for the pre-season squad previews. I'm a little bit upset, but there's a little bit more that our viewers can expect. Before we get there, just remember, if you are a new viewer and you would like to get amongst GameDay Squad Fantasy Cricket for 2024, make sure you sign up using the promo code FBAC24. You can open your own 3-player rare pack just like we have. All of those players you can throw straight into your squad just in time for round 1. Also, don't forget that Diamond Match Short giveaway. Right now, comment your GDS Cricket squad name in the comment section on YouTube if you're listening to the audio version, on your podcast app. Jump onto YouTube, make sure you type your name, and you don't want to miss out on that Matt Short Diamond opportunity. There's also 7 other videos that you can enter just by typing in your squad name, so make sure you go back and you do that as well. We're not quite done for the preseason in terms of content before that live show for round 1. What can our viewers expect over the final couple of weeks and days leading into that first ball?
Yeah, mate, we've still got plenty of content on offer. So we'll be dropping our rankings show in the lead up to that first round. So that will be our top 10 batting wicket keepers, bowlers, and all-rounders. So we'll give you a bit of insight into where we think those players are going to finish up at the end of the season, based on some strength of schedule and some previous GDS point scoring, as well as maybe some signings and some late additions to the tournament. Plus, we'll be live for that round 1 preview show. Really keen to jump in there and get the season underway. That will happen approximately 1 hour before the start of that first game. So make sure that you are live. We'll have all of those giveaways happening, as well as covering each game in round 1. And we'll discuss who we think will score big in GDS and who you need to have in your squad for that round 1 competition.
Yeah, mate, absolutely looking forward to it. And look, a lot can happen in just one day in Big Bash. Some signing news can throw some team lineups completely out. So make sure, you follow the GameDay Squad boys on their YouTube channel, on Instagram, and make sure you follow us, the Fantasy Bros, at Fantasy Bros AU on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Instagram as well. And we'll try to post any of those late team changes, but we'll bring them all to you during that live show just before the first ball is bowled for round 1. Remember, subscribe to the GDS channel. Make sure you follow us, the Fantasy Bros. Dill, it's been a pleasure, mate. Look forward to the top 10 bats, bowlers, and all-rounders. Until then, thanks, everyone. See you guys.